In this video, we're going to start working with piano keyboards and learning about them. First thing I want you to do is you should have your piano theory sheet, just like the one I have right here. You should have yours in front of you. And once you have it, you'll know you're on the right side because it's the side that has the black keys here, and it also says 1, 2, and 3 down the left-hand side of the sheet. So at the top, I want you to put piano theory way up on top here. Piano, T-H-E-O-R-Y. I want you to put your name. And put page 1. 1F, because that's the front. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this top piano and talk about it just in general. As you can see, there are white keys and there are black keys. The white keys are longer than the black keys. And the black keys have a pattern. Come in sets of 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, alternating pattern, one then the other, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, and so on. Now, a piano keyboard can be as large as 88 keys, like with a grand piano, or as small as you really want to make it. And there's no, in general, the bottom of a keyboard or the top of your keyboard could look totally different depending on the keyboard. It doesn't have to start out with a 3. If we make this one shorter, say we started right here, it would start out with a 2. Then it would be 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. You could also not start at the beginning of a 3. It might start right here. In which case you'd look at this and you'd say, Mr. Kent, but there's this keyboard has a 1, a 2, and a 3 in a row. I thought you said they only come in 2s and 3s. Obviously, this is the upper part of a set of 3. Same thing if it were to start like right here. Mr. Kent, we have 2 sets of 2 in a row. How can that be? That's because this is a 3, this is a 2, and this is the upper part of a set of 3. Okay. So the first thing we need to know about a piano keyboard is that when you move to the right, like this arrow is pointing, when you move to the right, the pitch on the keyboard actually gets higher. So right here, I'm going to write the word higher next to that arrow. Then on this side of it, when we go that direction to the left, it goes lower. So I say go higher on the keyboard, you go to the right. I say go lower on the keyboard, you go to the left. Now, normally when we're thinking of up and down, we're thinking of going up and down, but on a piano keyboard, when we say go up the keyboard, we're talking about going higher. When we say go down the keyboard, we're talking about going to the left. Then the third distinction we're going to make on these piano keyboards is you've heard about sharping or flatting. Well, when you sharp something on a piano keyboard, you're going to the right. Your pitch is going higher. That's true on all instruments. When you sharp something, the pitch gets higher. So up here we're going to write sharp, and we're actually going to put the symbol for sharp, which looks like a hashtag. You should be filling this out when I'm filling this out. I should have said it earlier, but that should be obvious to you. Next, the other direction, when we flat something. we're going to the left. And the actual symbol for flat is a small, looks like a small B. So once again, if I say go higher, you point, go this way. If I say go lower, sharp it, go down, flat it, sharp it, up. And those are distinctions we're going to be making as we start playing the half step, whole step game eventually on the piano. All right. So now we're ready to actually start learning. So we're going to go to number 1, and we're going to start learning about the musical alphabet, and in particular one letter for the musical alphabet. That is D. Capital. Remember, with the musical alphabet, we always use capital letters. We do never use small letters. And the reason that is because one of the letters is B, and we use B. If it's a small letter, we're going to get it confused with the flat up here. So that's why we never use small letters. Always use capital letters. So D is the white key between the double pattern of 2 black keys. So we find a double pattern of 2 black keys right here. The white key in between them is called D, and I'm going to actually label that one as D. We have a saying to help us remember that, and I've got it right here. It's called D for double. When you say D for double, the double will remind you that we're talking about the D, and the double refers to the 2 black keys, the pattern of 2 black keys. So D for double. So now that we found one D, we should be able to find other Ds that are on the piano keyboard. Let's look up. We see this one. There's another one right here. 2 black keys. The white key between the double pattern of 2 black keys is D. Don't write it higher up here. Write it down here, down at the bottom. And that's because as time goes on, we're going to learn about sharping, flatting, double sharping, double flatting, and some of these keys will have multiple things written on them. So it's always do just the regular letters down on the bottom here. And we can go higher. We see that here we go again. We have another set of 2 up here. Label that one as D. So now, since we have a set of 3 at the bottom, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Those are the only 3 Ds that we can see. All right, let's move down to number 2. The musical scale is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are the only ones in the alphabet we use. So let's do all capitals. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All capital letters. And then the musical scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then we start over with A, obviously. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's the way it goes up on a piano keyboard. At any time, if you're not caught up, you should pause the video, and then when you've caught up to where I am, then you can start it again so you can keep filling things in, okay? All right. So now we're going to go starting on this lowest D here, and we're going to label all the white keys all the way to the top, okay? Because they're all going to be labeled with the musical scale. So if we're starting on D, the next letter up is E, so we're going to put an E there. Then we look at E, F is the next one up, so we're going to put an F. Then above F is G, so we're going to label a G on the next one. Then start over with A, so after G comes A. Then after A, we've got B. After B, we have C. And then you can see, After C, we have D. And since D for double, we already put it in, you can see that it works out. I want you to, at this point, label all the rest of them up to the top, and that's it. And then when you get to the top, we'll see if we end up on the same letter. So everybody do that right now on your own. If you labeled it correctly, then you should have filled this in up here with the letter B. If not, you should stop the video, erase wherever your mistake is, and then continue it on. Okay, now, the reason I haven't filled in the bottom here, because I wanted to talk about this first. This is where most people make their mistakes. I know that some of us pride ourselves on being able to do the letters backward, but you can't believe the amount of times people have made mistakes because they did it backwards when they didn't have to. And in this particular instance, you don't have to. Why? Because you already did it forward all the way up here. If I look here, if you want to do it backwards, you go ahead, but always check it up here. For instance, I'll check it right now. Here's D, so the one below that is C. Here's C, the one below that is B. Here's B, the one below that is A. Here's A, the one below that is G. Here's G, the one below that is F. Now that didn't take that long, but I'm just telling you, I've been through doing this for many years, and you can't believe how many times people have not gotten perfect papers or got a number of mistakes on a mistake because when they did them backwards, did the letters backwards, they made some kind of a mistake in there. All right, so we're done with number 2. Now we're going to talk about number 3. It says 3. The smallest distance you can travel on a piano keyboard is called a half step. Now, the musical alphabet is the same for every instrument you play. Just like the smallest distance you can travel on any instrument is going to be a half step. Now you can go a half step higher, you can go a half step lower, you can go up a half step, you can go down a half step, you can sharp something, which means you're going up a half step, or you can flat something, which means you're going down a half step. Now, what is a half step? It's the smallest distance you can travel. So, on a key, if you look here, up here at this top keyboard, these white keys look like they're all next to each other. They really do. But the only white keys that are next to each other is these two right here, because there isn't a black key in between them. These two right here, because there isn't a black key in between them. All the other ones, like these two, these all have black keys in between them. And if they're next to each other, it's easy for people to forget that the black key is in between. And because if you skip up from F to G, you're not going up a half step. You're going up larger than a half step. If you go down a half step and you're going from G down, no, these two aren't next to each other. You have to go to the black key. So, when we go up a half step, say we're starting on F, go up a half step, we look, are we going to the G? No, there's a black key, so we go here. If we go up another half step from there, we're going to the white key. If we're going up a half step, again, we're going to the black key. Going up a half step again, we're going to the white key. That's the way it's going to work. Up a half step, black key. Up a half step, white key. Up a half step, white key. Up a half step, black key. That's the way it will work. Now, at the bottom here, I said, if in doubt, which is the next half step, use the paper test to see which color key comes into view next. Here's the paper test. You can look, you see the white key comes into view, then the black, then the white, then the black, then the white, then the black, then the white, then the white, then the black, then the white, then the black, then the white, then the white, then the black, then the white, and so forth, okay? Now at the bottom here, I want you to prove to me you understand what I'm saying about going from up by half steps. I want you to go all the way up with the half steps. Now watch as I trace as far as I've gone. Notice when I trace them, my line goes down to the bottom where I play this, and my line here doesn't go to the edge here, the crack. It goes onto the black key that I play. So watch as I go up by half step. Go up a half step. I draw a line. Go up a half step. I draw a line. Go up a half step. I draw a line. Go up a half step. I draw a line. Go up a half step. I draw a line. I go up a half step. I draw a line. Go up a half step. I'm going over to the next one. Draw up a half step. Go up to there. Go up a half step. I'm going all the way down to here. I am not going halfway there and then going like that. Make sure you do that. Go up a half step. Go up a half step. Go up a half step. I want you to do this the whole rest of the keyboard. And once you're done with that, I want you to take this page completely filled out, and I want you to add it to the assignment page, because you'll be done as far as filling this page out. You will not be done using this page though, because next class we're going to learn how to play the half step game, and we're actually going to practice that half step game to get used to going up and down half steps, and I'll get more into that in the next video. So after you upload this, please start watching the next video sometime soon. That's it.